Hi there, Simon from simonwoods.com here. Now, you might notice something slightly different about this set of bottles compared with normal. They've got something gone from them. That's because I started filming it and then the batteries on my camera ran out. So I've tasted all these wines and when I got to check the film afterwards, it has only gone about 4 minutes into it. So I know what I think about them, but let's just go through them again for good measure. They're all Sauvignons. Actually, they're not all Sauvignons. The first two are from a place called Bergerac, which is Bordeaux in waiting, if we want a better term. If you travel east from the city of Bordeaux, you get to the border of Bordeaux. Over the border, there's no actual barrier, there's no Berlin Wall or anything like that. It's Bordeaux one side, it's Bergerac the other side. And so same grape varieties, they make nice reds, whites and rosés, and because it's not Bordeaux, often the wines can be brilliant value. These two wines are sort of under £7, so this one, I know it's not 100% Sauvignon because it says on the front, Sauvignon Semillon Muscadel, Château le Payral, Bergerac Sec, 2008. And 2008, it's already showing that little bit of fatness and flesh and richness of maturity. What will have happened if you'd come across this a year ago? The Sauvignon character would have been slightly more, and the Semillon would have been boom, 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 boom. But the Sauvignon's calmed down, leaving the Semillon more of a chance to come to the fore. So you're getting a bit more creaminess, a bit more richness, and yeah, life beyond fruit. And the Muscadel maybe adding a little bit of grapey perfume in there. Bit of smokiness. I'm not sure whether it's been near an oak barrel, but what I call the smoky tinned pear character is something that I find in a lot of white Bordeaux and so Bergerac. Let's see whether I find it in Pavillon de la Brie. Don't know the grape varieties here, but I imagine similar blend. A lot of Sauvignon, a bit of Semillon, and maybe a dab of Muscadel. So 2009, year younger. And there's a bit more catty character coming through here. Not a bad catty character. Do you like the smell of your own wee? I mean, this is a question that you always ask yourself. But there is this ever so slightly cat wee character coming through. And it's not an offensive smell when it's in this tiny measure, because there's also there's an edge of grapes there. There's really green grapes. You know that sometimes you get those grapes and they're just a little bit underripe, and you buy them from the supermarket. I know you all go to farmers markets and buy them, but yeah, there's this green citrus, green apple character. If the Semillon is in there, so far it hasn't poked its way through. It's not as forward as the Château le Payral 2008. What it does have is it's got more length, it's got more persistence. So, and it feels a little bit more tight and closed in, which is what you'd expect from a wine that's a year younger. So it's fresh, it's crisp, it's zesty, and nice now. But I mean, we're in January now. I think come summer that will be really hitting its strides, and yeah, I think I prefer that. But it's got some of that, what I call that smoky tinned pear character, and I think that will come more to the fore as the year goes on. Neither of these wines long keepers, but Sauvignon generally isn't a wine to keep. I mean, you can buy them and they do change, but not necessarily for the better. Nepenthe, 2010, Adelaide Hills in Australia. We are here. Adelaide Hills is one of those places where there's Adelaide Hills, which is reasonably flat and low down, and there's Adelaide Hills, which is up and undulating, so you can ripen Zinfandel there, and there are places that are too cool for Sauvignon, so there's no typical Adelaide Hills character. This one smells clean and fresh, but really not too much else going on there. If I really swirl it and really take a big sniff, well, the thing that I notice is sulfur dioxide. I feel it almost like it's like gag at the back of my throat. I'm not asthmatic, but I imagine if you were to do that and you had that ever so slight touch of asthma, you'd go. Sulfur dioxide has been used as preservative in wine for a long time, so if you ever come across wine and it is like that to start with, just give it a swirl. It does blow off eventually. Or decant it. I mean, don't bother about reds. People usually think of decanting red wines. No reason you can't decant whites. And what I would do though is, if you are going to do that, pour it back in the bottle, because if you have a flask on the table with something of that colour in, people think, has he just been to the doctor's? Anyway, let's taste it. It's on the simple side. Citrus, yeah, lemon, lime, green gauge, but not all that much of it. Sort of wine that I would happily drink down a glass of, and certainly if I was sitting outside with a bucket of prawns, I'd be very happy to quaff my way through a glass or two of that. But it's January, it's a nice sunny day here, but it's -2 outside, not what I want, and I generally prefer wines that have got a bit more character and a bit more personality than that one. The Co-op's Fairtrade Sauvignon Blanc, Chile and Reserva from the Curicó Valley in Chile. Well, for 2010 I was expecting something a little bit fresher. There's a cooked apple richness here, but it's not backed up by anything that makes me want to explore it too much. But I'm going to. Boldly going, etc. It's okay. I might not finish a glass if someone gave me that. There are so many other wines in the world that you don't have to drink something like that. It's not even what I call fair enough wine. The Nepenthe lacked a bit of personality. That has got a personality that, yeah. Anyway, let's try the next one. Casa Silva's Colchagua Sauvignon Blanc. Yes, Colchagua Sauvignon Blanc. Colchagua is a place where some of Chile's top Syrah, top Carmenere come from. So you think, oh, those are warm climate grapes. Is it a bit too hot? Well, most of it is. But if you go close to the coast, hence cool coast, then it gets much cooler and fresher, and you keep the freshness in the grapes. This is from a place called Paradones, and I think Casa Silva's certainly pioneered the region, and they may still be the only people with vineyards there. And it's really close to the Pacific, so you get these nice cool breezes, keeping all the fresh acidity in the grapes, and not making them get too fat and bloated as they might have done maybe on the one before. And certainly there is a crispness and zip here that was missing from the one before. There's also more of a stony minerality. There's maybe for me just a little too much of that green pepper character, but nice, zesty, fleshy. This is nice mix. There's a zest and there's flesh. Let's see what the final wine is like. And 2009, Santa Carolina Oceanside Sauvignon Blanc. So the San Antonio Valley, the Adelaide is a sub-region of San Antonio. Plums and a bit of rhubarb even. The sort of smells that I sometimes find in Macon Chardonnay. And it smells like it's going to have a little bit more weight than some of the ones that have gone before. It also feels like, I was saying before about this being upright. These three previous ones, 2010, and slightly upright and begging. 2009, a year older, it's just relaxed a little bit more, and it's not that it's lost its zip and verve, but it's just that little bit more relaxed, a little bit more chilled, and it smells good. There's a bit of the feline in there, but not too much of it. I don't particularly like wines that smell extremely of wee, but just a touch there, and there's this plummy rhubarb, and of course it's got this lemon and the bit of the green apple too. But there's also more life beyond fruit. Well, the flavour I'm left with, I don't know whether the coastal influence is such that it's given this briny character, but there is some of that there. There's a salty minerality, which I think is really smart. At the moment, it's coming up for its second birthday. It doesn't feel like it's got heaps of life ahead of it. Sauvignon, not for me a wine to age, but certainly come the British summer, when the British summer ever comes, I'll be really enjoying that. I think it's got a nice weight and depth. And the only thing that I have against taking it on a picnic is that I'll have to take my corkscrew, because most of the other Chilean Sauvignons have screw caps, but I have to remember to take the corkscrew for that one. But it'll be worth it. See you soon.